A book so dangerous, the Vatican banned it for 1,500 years. Inside its pages, a story of angels who abandoned heaven, descended to earth, and created a race of giants that nearly destroyed humanity. The Book of Enoch was removed from the Bible, hidden in Ethiopian monasteries, and declared heretical. But when it was finally rediscovered, scholars realized it explains mysteries the official Bible never addresses. Tonight, we reveal what the Church didn't want you to read. Throughout human history, some books have been considered so dangerous that attempts were made to completely destroy them. The Book of Enoch is one of these, a text considered sacred by early Christians, quoted by Jesus' apostles, but later mysteriously removed from the Bible. So why was this book so dangerous? Because the story it tells completely changes the version of Genesis we know. It explains the fall of angels, the rise of giants, and the true reason for Noah's flood. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel because content like this is very rare on YouTube. If you're ready, let's embark on a journey into history's most forbidden text. Before starting Enoch's story, we need to understand the person who wrote this book. The Bible contains very little information about Enoch, but what is said is extremely interesting. Genesis 5:24. Enoch walked with God, then he was no more, because God took him away. This is one of the most mysterious sentences in the Bible. Enoch didn't die, he was simply taken. Enoch was the 7th generation after Adam, Noah's great-grandfather. And according to the Bible, he lived 365 years, not just before he didn't die, but throughout his entire life he walked with God. But the real story is told in the Book of Enoch, and this story explains why he was taken. Because Enoch witnessed the fall of angels, saw the rise of giants, and was warned about the coming flood. The story begins like this. The angels known as Watchers of Heaven were assigned to observe earth and humanity. But one day, something goes wrong. The Book of Enoch. Chapter 6 narrates, when the number of humans increased and beautiful daughters were born to them, the angels, the sons of heaven, saw them and desired them. 200 angels gathered under the leadership of a leader named Semjaza, and they made a terrible oath among themselves. Together, they descended to Mount Hermon, the sacred mountain where the borders of Israel, Syria, and Lebanon meet. Their names were recorded: Semjaza, Azazel, Armaros, Barakel, Kokabiel, Tamiel, Ramiel, Danel, each one a high-ranking angel. And all took the same oath. They would marry human women. But this wasn't just a matter of desire. These angels also brought secret knowledge with them. After the angels descended to earth, they didn't just marry human women, they also taught humanity the secrets of heaven. The Book of Enoch. Chapter 8 describes in detail. Azazel taught humans to make swords, knives, shields, and armor. He brought the art of war. Barakel taught astronomy and knowledge of stars. Kokabiel taught understanding of constellations and time. Tamiel taught astrology. Armaros taught the breaking of spells. But perhaps most dangerous, Azazel taught women cosmetics, the art of adornment, and ways of deception. According to the Book of Enoch, this was the beginning of humanity's moral collapse. This knowledge wasn't in God's plan. Humanity wasn't ready yet, and the consequences of this secret knowledge would be terrible. Those born from the union of human women and angels were called Nephilim, and these weren't ordinary children. The Book of Enoch 7:2 says, "The women became pregnant and gave birth to great giants whose height was 3,000 cubits. 3,000 cubits, approximately 450 meters. Of course, this could be a symbolic number, but the message is clear. These beings were of enormous size. Among the Nephilim leaders were names: Ohia, Hahia, Mahwe, and others, each powerful enough to command an army. And these giants weren't just large, they were also greedy. The Book of Enoch continues. They consumed all the labor of humans. When humans could no longer feed them, the giants turned against humans and began eating them. The world was descending into chaos. The Nephilim were consuming everything: animals, plants, and eventually even humans. While these terrible events were happening, Enoch continued to walk with God. And one day, a special task was given to him. The fallen angels began to see the consequences of what they'd done. The world was being destroyed, and in fear, they asked Enoch to intercede with God for them. The Book of Enoch. Chapter 13 narrates, "Enoch, go to Azazel and all his companions and tell them, there will be no peace for you." God's answer was clear. The fallen angels would not be forgiven, but worse, their children, the Nephilim, would be completely destroyed. Enoch brought this news to the angels. "You will see the death of your sons, and you will weep for them, but your prayers will not be heard." After delivering the message, something incredible happened to Enoch. God took him to heaven, not just for a meeting, but for a complete tour. Chapters 14 to 16 of the Book of Enoch describe this journey. Enoch passed through 7 heavens. In each he saw different angels, different structures. In the highest heaven he saw a throne made of crystal and fire. Upon it sat an indescribable being, the Ancient of Days, God himself. There Enoch was shown the future, the flood, the destruction of the Nephilim, and humanity's salvation. But he also saw visions about the end times, the coming of the Messiah, and the final day of judgment. Most people think the reason for Noah's flood was humanity's sins. This is true, but not the complete story. According to the Book of Enoch, the flood's real purpose was to destroy the Nephilim. These hybrid beings were corrupting God's order of creation. They were neither human nor angel. They were an illegal existence. God sent a team of 4 great angels, Uriel to warn Noah Raphael, to chain Azazel Gabriel to make the Nephilim fight each other, Michael to imprison Semjaza and the other leaders, the Book of Enoch. Chapter 10 says, "They will be imprisoned in the darkness of darknesses until the day of judgment." 2. Peter 2:4 confirms this event. God did not spare angels when they sinned, but sent them to hell, putting them in chains of darkness. So if this story is so important, why isn't it in the Bible? The answer is complex. Early Christians considered the Book of Enoch sacred. The Epistle of Jude, verses 14 to 15, quotes directly from Enoch. Enoch, the 7th from Adam, prophesied about them. The first church fathers, Tertullian, Irenaeus, Clement of Alexandria, all reference the Book of Enoch. But in the 4th century, something changed. At the Council of Nicaea, 325, and subsequent meetings, some books were declared non-canonical. The Book of Enoch was one of them. Why? Probably because its story was disturbing. The idea of angels sinning was problematic for some theologians. Also, the Nephilim story complicated Christianity's monotheistic message. As a result, the Book of Enoch disappeared from the Western Church. Only the Ethiopian Orthodox Church preserved it. For centuries, the Book of Enoch was lost. Western scholars only knew of its existence from ancient references. In 1773, Scottish traveler James Bruce brought 3 copies from Ethiopia. Europe was shocked. The lost book had been found. But the real revolution came in 1947. Among the Dead Sea Scrolls, Aramaic fragments of the Book of Enoch were found. This definitively proved the book was written before Jesus. Now we know the Book of Enoch was probably written between 300 to 100 BCE, and in Jesus' time, it was widely read among Jews. Today, the Book of Enoch remains controversial. Catholics and Protestants consider it apocryphal, but Ethiopian and Eritrean churches still accept it as canonical. Scientists agree on the book's historical value. It's a critical source for Second Temple period Jewish thought. And surprisingly, the book is experiencing a resurgence in popular culture. Enoch's stories appear in films, books, and documentaries. Because this story contains universal themes: rebellion, consequence, judgment. And its warning is still valid today. Some boundaries shouldn't be crossed, some knowledge shouldn't be learned. What does the Book of Enoch's story teach us? Perhaps this: truth is always more complex than we understand. Genesis 6:4 contains just one sentence. The Nephilim were on the earth in those days. But the Book of Enoch tells the complete story: the fall of angels, the rise of giants, the true reason for the flood. The church banned this book, but couldn't completely destroy it, because true stories never completely disappear. Whether you believe it or not, the Book of Enoch is one of humanity's oldest and most mysterious texts, and the warnings within it may be more important today: the responsibility of power, the dangers of knowledge, and why some boundaries exist. Thank you for watching this video. Share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel, because in the next video we'll reveal the secrets of another forbidden text.